Hey, there I am. Swindell. The doctor is here. Vince, what's up, dude? Let's see here. Where am I? I got to sign Bates. Got Wiggleworts to sign. I really don't like doing this because there's no, like when you hold them, you have to hold them like this. So maybe I can do them from the back. There's no good way to sign this. I'm at a loss. My signature is going to look like ass. Maybe I'll just sign the top. Close enough. Don't really like that, but if you get Bates from me and they're not signed, it's probably this is the reason, because they're difficult to handle. Kyle, what's up, dude? Just signing Bates. Did y'all see where MLF has changed their format yet again? Going to 5 fish. Ryan, what's up, dude? MLF has gone to 5 fish. Continuing to think we the fans are dumb. James, what's up, dude? Just gossiping about bass fishing. Just gossiping. Signing some baits. About to go clear coat. But yeah, I feel like MLF is janky. If you've ever heard me talk on here, you know that I'm not a fan in the slightest. But I feel like we were told that people like MLF. People like the multi-catch. It's great for ratings. The fan base loves it. Our numbers are through the roof, better than anyone else in the industry. We are king ding-a-ling. But we're just going to go back to 5 fish. I know people loved it and it was better than everything else on the planet, but so either one, people didn't love it, or two, because it's not about the anglers. The anglers, they'll have those regardless. So either A, it wasn't translating well, or B, or whatever, someone was lying. Was it all bullshit? Probably. Which most people could sniff out anyway, but yeah, it's interesting that I mean, it's not interesting that they switched over. It's actually pretty common for them to change their stance on something. These baits are really hard to hold. I think this is another bait I'm going to add to the list of don't want to paint anymore. Prop baits. Boy can eat shit. Yeah, he is. People talk about him being like I think there's two kinds of salesmen. And I was taught this by my uh, 8-month mentor, kind of, when I was knocking doors. Um, he told me, like, the first time I met him, he was like, in sales, what you learn is that when you get good at it, you end up being able to make people do what you want. And he's like, if you're a good salesman, an honest guy, you do the right thing, you do, what you're supposed to, you don't take advantage of that. He's like, but there are people who understand that they can manipulate people and they can, change situations, and they can use that in the wrong way. So he's like, just be cognizant of that. And I feel like you see those people that are like good, honest, people in that kind of world, salesy world, and they don't. I mean, you can lie. I mean, not you can lie, but like, there's a difference in like blatantly lying to people, and I feel like that's what's happened with MLF is they just like blatantly lied. Yeah, MLF's going back to 5 fish. What do you think about that, Burns? You like the 5 fish, or did you like the multi fish? Because we've been told all along that multi fish is the wave of the future, and this is what everybody loves, and this is what gets ratings, and this is what's so awesome, and this is why we're doing so well and better than everybody else, is because we catch multi fish and we release them, and we're doing all this kind of stuff, and that's the reason we're great and the reason you suck, and we're going to succeed and you're going to fail. I think it is, Travis. Yeah, still weigh and release. I love the 5 fish format, but at the same time, what's the point with no weigh-in? I mean, the weigh-ins are kind of lame now because of live and because of the score tracker, like the bass track or whatever they call it on BASS. So the weigh-ins have been watered down since that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. I just think it's the whole thing is lame. Guys do sandbag. That's the only thing that keeps it a little bit interesting is guys like when guys really, really sandbag. So I wish kind of I don't know that I like bass track. I don't care who catches what. The reason I watch bass fishing is not to see how much weight they have. I watch to see what they're doing and how they're catching fish. That's the most interesting part to me. So if they did away with Bass Track altogether, I would be fine with that. Um, because it's son of a beat. I might be the only one that likes the weigh and release. I was a big fan of Bass's Lake Fork tournaments. I don't. I thought those were kind of lame. Um, I don't know. I just like seeing them drag them around. As bad as it may be, I like seeing them get held up. Uh, I don't South Jersey. I don't know how many of them die. If in the summertime, there was probably boatloads of them. But the way they do their tournaments now, one Elite Series tournament probably isn't that bad on a fishery. It's probably not great, but compared to local stuff, it's insignificant. Um, but all of the local stuff follows all that kind of pro stuff. So uh, yeah, that's the thing, Kyle. Good point. If you're catching 40 pounds of fish, our uh, our live wells aren't like standard live wells aren't really set up for that. Uh, I mean, if you had like three 8-pounders in one side, that's a pretty good load. Uh, Alex Rudd has a biologist who says almost 80% of those fish will die. The Is he claiming delayed mortality that they just when they release they eventually swim out and just die in the middle of the lake? Well, I don't believe biologists half the time anyway because half the biologists are telling us what to do with our lakes here and they're trash. So biologist guy can stuff that up his ass because unless he's from Texas, they seem to know what they're doing. But anywhere else, uh, all the biologists around here say, uh, here you go, Corps of Engineers. Here's $2 million. Go kill all the grass you can because it doesn't hurt the fisheries. Or for Lake Austin, hey, we're biologists. We're going to release 30,000 triploid carp into the lake because they're sterile and they're not going to repopulate. Wrong answer. We released the wrong ones and 10 times the amount that we were supposed to release. Whoops. Yeah. So that doesn't hold much. That doesn't hold much water weight with me. Fishing the southeast, I've completely stopped watching bass, MLF, and any other tournament. I will only see where my buddies placing them afterwards, so I can. Yeah, I've gotten to where Night Rolling. What's up? Um, I've gotten to where I pretty much just look at the results and just to see the people I know, like how they did. Um, but I don't feel like I see much. Uh, like I'm always looking for techniques. Um, you know what I mean? Like I want to see like how they catch them. I'm not, and I like seeing the fish, but I don't. I feel like that's getting lost. Like when they're on the boat. Never been a fan of keeping anything that lives in the wild in captivity, even if you're releasing them later. Yeah, it's kind of a dick move. It's kind of a dick move. Uh, but it's for our own entertainment, right? Isn't that worth it, Travis? Uh, um, Jeremy just bitching about MLF and biologists and all kinds of things. I wonder what South Jersey. I wonder what time of year that was. If it was in the summer, I could for sure bet it was a damn uh, graveyard out there. But um, I wonder what would happen when to the fish if we banned tournament fishing for 1 year and brought it back afterwards. Would the fish be caught easier? I don't think they would be caught easier. I think it would probably take more than 1 year. Um, but if you banned tournament fishing, uh, especially like guys have been talking about, Jacob Walker made a post on Facebook about how sucky the Coosa is now, and there's varying opinions as to what has caused it. Um, and it's definitely on the decline. Um, but I think if you clipped tournament fishing for a couple years, you would probably see a little bit of an incline in in fisheries for sure, because you wouldn't have fish getting drug all over the lake. Um, but like up there on the Coosa, that's what guys were talking about. There's a tournament every day for like 12 months. Like it never slows down. And they're not huge, but there are people catching fish and hauling them around. Um, uh, oh, yeah, I missed some comments over here. So here's my take on the 5 fish with MLF. I think they shot themselves in the foot with it. The only advantage they had over bass was all the guys they hate the forward-facing sonar events, and it wouldn't let me. But basically, guys were able to keep a smallmouth event interesting to watch by staying in the hunt largemouth fishing, but that's over. Yeah, biologists and engineers are two people you don't want involved in anything you do. Tyler, I will 100% would agree with that, and I will also say um, I don't want anybody involved in anything I do. Biologists, engineers, the government, anybody. No tournaments during the spawn. Hauling big females away from the bed hurts the fishery. Yeah, probably does. Uh, but then again, biologists will tell you you release those fish, they swim over to the bank, they squirt their eggs out, and the male comes over there and does his thing, and voila, we have fish population. It's all good. Um, so, uh, they blame it on Asian carp, but locals say the ledge fishing from June, July, August on Kentucky Lake put a hurt on the bass population. Um, Probably. Um, Probably does. We're also giving. I guess. I mean, it really. I mean, if you don't, later Burns. If you don't, uh, if you don't, if you take technology out of it, and I'm not talking forward-facing sonar, but it's part of it. If you take side scan, 360, all that kind of stuff out, and guys are still using 2D uh, and paper maps. I mean, is the population of fish still a little safer than it is now? Probably. Uh, Fish in the southeast, I would not be surprised if pro bass fishing just evaporates in another 50 to 65 years the way fishing is now and what we are doing. Probably right. I think it's gonna implode on itself. What every what's gonna happen is everything they think they're doing to make it better, which they're not doing to make better, they're just advancing to make money. All that is gonna end up destroying it, unfortunately. Um, keep them all day before getting to the house, releasing them upon their his pond. So, Kyle, what you're saying is you would go fishing, you would keep the fish in your live well, you would drive them home, and then put them in your pond, and they were fine. Never died. Had a full stock. I mean, I think fish are pretty resilient, a little more than we give them credit for. Uh, Not to say we should put them under that much pressure for, uh, or put them under that much stress, but I don't know. I think Steve Kennedy's one of the guys that says that tournament fishing does jack to the population of fish, even if like don't quote me on this, but I want to say he was of the opinion that if like every fish that got caught during a Bassmaster tournament died, like it still wouldn't like be a fraction of like the population of fish that are actually out there. Like you wouldn't see it. Um, that there's like an insane amount of fish, but who knows? Jeremy, you're exactly right. It's the same thing we dealt with engineers. So in the construction world, you got this guy that reads about this shit in books and in school, and they study it in a classroom, and uh, and they think if they can draw it, then it you can create it in the real world. Um, and it was like a constant struggle between engineers and the guys actually physically doing the work, and they always butted heads because there was a real world way of doing things, and then there was an engineered way of doing things, and the engineers would be like, "Oh, well, it's drawn right here, and I just do it." And it's like, well, it doesn't work like that. You can't do it like that. So, sure you can. So, um, uh, Nate probably. I really don't know. I feel like nobody really knows because you get so many different varying opinions on the subject of you know what's what. Um, I don't think you'll ever know a right answer. Like my small lake definitely feel the pressure of tournament fishing, especially the larger fish. It takes so long to get a big up here. Yeah, I can see that. That would definitely not be fun when there's not that many to go along. Um, so uh, like I think what was it? There was something really stupid that the game and fish people did here. I think they went to like Neely Henry and they took a seine to the boat ramp and like walked the seine around the boat ramp and like did their like creel or like their like water quality and fish quality sample off of that like seine at the boat ramp. And they're like, oh, that's great, dude. Like fish population's good. Like look what all we caught at the boat ramp. And like Neely Henry's dead. Like it's the Dead Sea. It sucks. But it used to be awesome. And that was what I think what you see happening now is before, like in the 15, 20 years ago, is you would have biologists and you would have game and fish people that were dealing with this. They could write anything they wanted, right? They could say, uh, you know, they could kind of ride the fence and say, yeah, fish population's a little down, but it's still healthy, blah, 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 blah. And they could just feed you some bullshit. But there wasn't any way, like, nobody was going to argue it, right? Because you're reading it in a magazine and like you can't type, you can't, like, if you want, unless you want to send them a letter in the mail, that was the only real way to bitch. So now you see the same reports get put out that were like in the newspaper 20 years ago. You get the same like biology reports put out on a lake, and now you've got 1,000 people that call bullshit on it, and they're like, no. And these are, and I'm not just saying like fishermen. I'm talking like educated people that maybe um, have a background in something like this, and you know. But back in the day when it was a newspaper article or a magazine article, you just took it at face value and said, oh, that's what it is. But and nobody's held accountable for that, or they weren't then. And I think now people are starting to maybe realize that you can't just like throw some shit against the wall and see what sticks, and people be okay with it, because that's what they were doing now, or that's what they were doing then. And now you throw something out there, and you might you might get some dirty emails by the hundreds. So um but it's just like at Miller's Ferry where I fish. They have the Corps of Engineers sprays. They spray grass um, every year, and and they get that money. And if they don't use it, they're going to lose it, right? So they're not going to lose the money. And I'm guessing they probably spend a fraction of it to actually spray. But there's no reason to spray grass. They say it gets hung in the generators. That's bull. Um, because you could literally, you know, pay a human like X amount of dollars to go clean it out if you wanted to. Uh, that would cost a fraction of what it would cost to kill the grass on the lake. And it's already shallow to begin with. So you're killing grass that just goes to the bottom and decays. And then you're just creating levels and levels of decay, making your lake shallower and shallower. And then the Corps of Engineers has no responsibility as to how they pull water, and they just do whatever they want. So you see that it's kind of like they'll like burp the water, where it's like coming in and it'll stop, and then they'll like back it up, and then it'll come down again, and it'll kind of make this like burp, and it'll just like push sediment up into stuff. Um, and you'll see a lot of stuff getting filled in, and they don't care because they don't answer to anybody. Um, so it's pretty disgusting, because like we have no reason to spray grass on Miller's Ferry, because it's not a navigable like commercial waterway. It used to be, but it's not anymore. So you don't need, like, nobody goes through the locks. So uh, the generators for power, I really don't think there's enough grass coming through there to clog those up. You might have to clean them once a year, twice a year. Uh, like I said, that's not a $2 million spraying plan. I think you could clean the generators a couple times a year for cheaper than $2 million. But what do I know? AJ, they really don't. So I don't think that's part of it. Every state should follow Texas Game and Fish. Yeah, that would be nice. Um, Kyle, we have no reason to kill the grass. It's not. It doesn't hint like nobody's hindered by navigation. Like none of the grass they're spraying is like. We're not talking like hydrilla and milfoil. We're talking about like bank grass and like little, like maybe some hyacinths. But I mean, it's basically like if you've got like 3 blades of like Coosa River grass sticking up, they're gonna go there and nuke that stuff. It harms nothing. Um, they kill all the reeds. Any kind of anything that's alive is getting nuked for no reason, because you can't, like, we could all get to our camps fine. The grass never stopped that, and there's not that many people living up there to begin with. It's not like some lake that's like lined with lined with boathouses. Like, there's not that many people that live up there, in the grand scheme of what they're doing. Uh, but like I said, they have nobody to answer to. They do whatever they want. Um, Tyler, why did they spray on? Why did they spray Toledo? They oversprayed the Texas side. Yeah, spraying grass is really really stupid. Like, I can understand, like, if you've got like a pocket, like a creek, a big creek, and it's got, hydrilla and milfoil in there, and you can't even get your boat out of the slip and get out of the creek without, like, idling through a mat of, you know, hydrilla or something. That's probably a nuisance. Probably need to thin that out a little bit. But, like, when you're blasting, like, big spawning areas that don't have, like, any houses in them, they don't have anything, like, they're strictly wild open areas with where nobody goes in there other than to fish. Like, why spray that? Because engineers say so, because biologists say so. That Salvinia stuff's bad, dude. That's real bad. Yeah, and they'll tell you that they've got all these herbicides that'll kill stuff and won't kill stuff and whatever. I got a 900-acre lake 15 minutes from my house, and it's supposed to be a trophy bass lake. It's got 20-inch slot limit, one fish per person, and can't remember the last time I seen a fishing game there. That's interesting. Turned willows, pines, and buckbrush black. Ew. Yeah, don't want to take home a stringer from Toledo and eat those on the Texas side. No thanks. But I think that's what you need. That's what we need, like, bass for, BASS. It's what you need MLF for. Like, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna try to stand for something. Like, be the guys that try and, like, stand up to the Corps of Engineers or somebody. You know what I mean? Just like, if you have so many eyes, maybe say, hey, uh, maybe you're dicking up. It'll never happen. Corps got too much money. Uh, but I wish that was like some. I guess the state agency would be like the Game and Fish division would be to oversee what all happens. But I don't know where, because the rivers here are run by the Corps of Engineers, so I don't know what power Game and Fish has over the Corps, or I don't think they have any, honestly. Um, I think the Corps just does whatever they want. Um, Nebraska's official policy is that it's better to have 5 1-pound bass than 1 5-pound bass. Is that to eat or in the lake? I wish we could figure out a. I wish there was like a universal answer to getting people to stop spraying grass. Like, if there would just be like a little a group of you could throw a biologist in there. You could throw a fisherman in there, not a fisherman, but you know what I mean, like somebody that's involved in the fishing industry, and like take somebody from each kind of world that deals with it, and just kind of make a little committee to deal with how you deal with all this shit. State representatives, I guess, are the people that you're supposed to be dealing with and sending email to, and are supposed to be fighting for you, me, everybody. But I don't know. I don't know how much of that's going down. I have no faith in that system either. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I would love to go back 300 years ago and fish places before people overran it building on the water. Yeah, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. Lakes in the eastern third of the state where most of the population is are 21-inch minimum. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. 21-inch minimum. How long does it take a bass to get 21 inches in Nebraska? Why don't they have a 12-inch maximum? It's the biggest fish you can catch. Yeah, that's the thing, Jeremy. I think there's ways to go about it, but spraying a bunch of bullshit in the water is not the answer. Uh, I'm about to go clear coat these things and the rest of them baits. Yeah, that's the bad part. They'll spray anything, dude. Like I would want like it makes me want to find when they're like when it's time to spray. Like maybe I should apply for that job and then when it's like, all right, go spray, you just like drive down the road and like pull the plug on all your chemicals in the boat and just let them like run off into the road and like just be done or like find some dirt pit and go like put them in the dirt pit and then just drive around and like spray water and be like, hey, we're spraying. Like if it doesn't matter to the core, like if the core is just trying to get money because they're allotted it, they don't care. They don't care regardless. So why wouldn't they just like it's probably doing more harm than it's doing good. Why don't we just throw this shit out in the back in the damn dumpster and just like buy it and do like we're supposed to? And I'm gonna pay you to go spray. You just don't spray. Like go fishing, do something. Um, there's a guy who exposed them using drone, following them, and you can visually see spring birds and frogs and lizards. Oh yeah, they can't control it. The only thing that you could probably get them for is if you could prove that they were spraying some sort of like uh, protected animal or species of like bug or something, and if they went through and nuked like some uh, protected newt that was living on the bank, they'd probably get roasted for that. So I don't know if how do you do that. Uh, so yeah, I think the grass, the nuclear grass spraying needs to stop. The Agent Orange in the lakes. Um, but yeah, they would go through and like we've got like cypress trees lining our property. They go through there and like spray the trees. Like doesn't matter. What are you gonna do? Call the Corps of Engineers and say, "Hey, you killed my trees," and they're gonna say, "So go bitch to somebody else." It's like, "Oh, who else do I bitch to?" Oh, yeah, you're it. So, um, and we've dealt with them for years because they would pull the water down so low. Um, at certain times, like in the summertime, they'd pull the water down real low, and you couldn't get out of your boathouse. They would just like drain the water out from under your boathouse for no like you wouldn't know what was happening. Like you just walk out there one morning and it would be dry, and you'd call him bitch, and they'd straight up tell you we're not in the residential fishing whatever joyriding homeowner water level business. Like, don't care. We're in the business of selling power and moving water. That's what we're here to do. We don't care if you fish. We don't care if you have a house that you can't get your boat out of the lake. Like, don't care. We're just trying to make money, and that's what they do. So I think that here is a big issue. Is that Fish and Wildlife, they don't have anybody calling them on bullshit, and then you've got the Corps of Engineers who can do whatever they want. They don't have to answer to anybody either. So you've got these two uh, entities that just have free will to do whatever they want. Um, will it change? Probably not. A long time. That's why my club had 8 tournaments and all of them were in other states. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. All right, dudes, I'm gonna go clear coat these baits. Look at this thing. How you like my shiny gill plate? I'm probably not gonna fish this. I'll probably give it to somebody. So if you're a spy bait guy, let me know. If you really like spy baits and you throw them a lot, let me know, because that's a knockoff, and I'd be interested to know what how they compare. Which Marty baits will be available? The yet to be named little topwater. That is my personal favorite. He makes that one. See you, Nate. That one, and then we got the 1.5 will be available. This one. The Hellcat 2 and the Hellcat 1. So we will have 3 size square bills and 1 topwater. A lot of them. This will be a Burns drop for the year, because it'll be close to 100 baits. It'll be a lot. The Corps doesn't spray here. They just cause billions in flood damage because they hold lakes below flood stage all winter. Like I said, AJ, why is that okay? You know what I mean? South Jersey, I haven't figured that out. I really don't want to have to ship 100 baits individually. So there might be a grouping of some sort. With singles thrown in, I might do a handful of colors individually and then do like group packs. I don't know. The individual selling gets really annoying. But I could do a 4-pack where you just get one of each one of them. That would make it easier. What's 4 into 100? Anybody good at math? Well, I guess AJ, you're more than familiar with the Corps of Engineers and how they operate. 25, so that would be 25 sets I could sell. That wouldn't be too bad on the shipping department. It would be better than 80. Well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Because if I do that, I'll have um, I'll have some leftover top waters, um, and then I could just do individual top waters for sale. I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about it. The Hellcat's good, man. Cool profile. Cool profile. It's like that good in between size. Not too big, not too small. It's just, it's fat enough, but it's not too fat. Just right. So, what time is it? 4 o'clock. Holy shit balls. Are we doing Common Core math? It might take a couple of days to get to the answer. I don't even know what that is, or I don't know how to do it, but I'm a fingers guy. I will. Math's never been my strong suit. My roommate in college, he was like a wizard. Uh, he was like into chemistry and stuff, and he was like, "You play guitar, right?" I'm like, "Yes," because I was having a real hard time with algebra. And he's like, "How are you sucky at algebra and you play guitar?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "It's all math." And like, he was so smart that I didn't even understand that it was all math. Like that, like what I was doing was mathematical, like within music. But like, he was so beyond my intellect that he understood like the instrument without having played it, but he knew how like the notes and like the fretboard and all the like all that worked mathematically. I didn't have a clue, and I was like, it doesn't have anything to do with math. And he's like, yes, it does. It's all math. And we used to like argue. And then like now that I know like a little bit about music theory, I'm like, oh, he's right. It was math. But it took me being like 40 years old to figure out what a 20-year-old kid was trying to tell me back in college. Uh, did a core engineer make Common Core math? Probably so. They probably did. Not a fan. Not a fan myself. But let's see if I can sign these damn things without dicking them up. I think I ran everybody off on Instagram bitching about the Corps of Engineers. They said, talk about Bates, you loser. Talk about Bates. Damn prop Bates. AJ, you paint prop Bates? These things are the worst, dude. I started thinking about it and I was like, I should have just clipped it. Oh, Instagram crashed. Oh. All right, Insta. See y'all later. Who's on there? Why won't it let me see? Dicks. Oh, Travis Stearman. Um, Instagram. All right. Sorry, Insta. I'm getting out of here. Discard. Instagram's a piece of shit. AJ, don't. If somebody sends you baits with props on them, say, you'll thank me later. Or actually, you should take them and then deal through the pain and then message me and say, dude, I painted this dude's prop baits. And they weren't that bad. Do not send them to me. like my how do you like my wigglewort replication? The I bought that stencil because I had this dude that was really into. Now that I look back, I I'm not so certain that he wasn't trying to do some shady bait flipping, uh, because he was very adamant that like the bait looked just like uh, a storm. He's like, "Can you make it like the markings all the same? Can you make it look the same?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I think I can." It's like I can get that stencil. I think they make a stencil for it that's like identical to the wigglewort. Like, I can do that and use it. Stupid, naive me. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, this guy might be manipulating people. Don't know. I guess it's not my business. I guess it kind of is. I don't want to be part of a fake bait wandering pushing group. South Jersey, the dark, like really dark, like black, getting black red, the evil red. If 666 were a red, it would look like this. I feel like those are the better reds. But what do I know? I'm just a bait biologist. I'm just a crankbait paint biologist. Going to buy 100 cheap 50-cent prop baits and splitting them up for you two to paint. Ah, you're so kind. Too kind, Kyle. That bright red works better on sunny days, says AJ. Well, I would think the opposite. Honestly, like if I were going out to fish, I would throw the really dark one when it was sunny, and I would throw the really bright one when it was overcast. Bright red works better on sunny days. See, I would probably never get that bite. That's what makes this game so interesting. AJ might be out there in the sun throwing the bright red yo-yo and bass, and I'm thinking to myself, what is he doing? And I see his bait, and I'm like, why are you throwing that? It's like, dude, they always bite red in the bright sun. Like, no, they don't. It's dumb. Who knows? That's why any rules and regulations or standardized anything related to bass fishing out the window. I threw all that shit away. I don't even like. I barely have anything in my mind when I go. Like I quit trying to like remember stuff like that. Just sends me down the wrong path. I throw dark brown and orange on cloudy days. Well, dark brown and orange as a combination, or one or the other. Did you ever get to use that Magnum? No, it's still hanging on the wall. I think my dad actually painted it. I don't know why he does this stuff, but it's like I don't paint fishing lures for a living. Um, yeah, I think he went in there and sanded it and painted it with like finger paint. What biology sprayer science do we trust? Bright red on sunny days or dark on bright sunny days? Dark brown top and orange belly, speaking for dirty water. Very interesting. Maybe I'll just have to come to Nebraska and disprove all these theories or eat my words. When's bass ripping season? When's cranking season, AJ? Right now? I will be in Kansas in a month. How far is Nebraska from Kansas? Another 16 hours, probably. Let's look. Let's Google this. We're going to say Lincoln, Nebraska, just for sake of ease. We're going to say Wichita, Kansas. See how far Lincoln, Nebraska, and Wichita, Kansas are. Dude, you're only 4 hours away? No way. Three hours and 56 minutes. How about that shit? Where are you, AJ? We'll be in Eureka. A few redhead bone paint jobs on the Hellcat. I haven't done that one. Actually, I did. I'll post that tonight, South J, for you to drool over. But it wasn't on a Hellcat. It was on a prop bait. Omaha. Let's see where it gives me. You're 4 hours and 27 minutes away. And then me and you, I'll drive 4 hours and 24 minutes, and then we can be at Lake Manawa. When the Marty Burns top order is going to drop this week, what's today, Tuesday? I can possibly start spraying them tomorrow, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to sell them yet. Meeting Abilene, and I will host both of you. Ooh, Travis, now you're talking. And we can put this bright red, dark red bullshit to sleep in Kansas waters. And watch Travis smoke us both on a damn bone spook. But Tyler, if you are a subscriber to the email list, Doug, they did, as figured, because they're spineless like jellyfish. I will buy you a Casey's pizza. Is it too cold? There's my wife. All right, YouTube. See you gentlemen later. Adios.